As well as the standard fair use policy, these videos are protected under the Treaty of Peace and Friendship 1787.
Moors are awake. We are taking our place on this planet.
Islam Moors.
My nationality is Moorish.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This flag will be placed atop of the White House where it belongs. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Empress Sophia, and today is my first stream, my first go live stream, and I have a special guest. His name is King Abdul Mumin, and there is some late breaking news going on that I have been following this, and I wanted to bring it to your attention, especially all you Moors. And I have him on the show, and he'll give you a little bit of information on what has transpired. And thank you all for joining us, and let me bring in King Abdul.
Islam,
Hi,
peace and
King.
love. Hi,
Peace
how you
and
doing,
love to
Empress
you.
Sophia? Thank you, thank you.
Great.
I hope we don't have a delay in between sounds like we do.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but I just thought it was important that I get on here so that we can alert the Moors of what is going on in these, I can't even call them courts. What's happening and what's transpiring, we can't allow that to happen.
Not at all.
Yeah, and so if you could give me, a little breakdown on what's actually going on.
Okay, as you know, I got a YouTube comment made by a King County public defender that sent me a comment telling me to contact him, and I contacted the King County public defender, and he told me that a criminal charge is filed against me for the conversation or the hearing we had about Empress Light.
We got a little delay.
Right. But this case is about Empress Light, me appearing in this phony court where they are claiming now that I threatened the judge, and I didn't threaten the judge. It was cleared up on the record when he asked me about the questioning of me saying I'm going to choke him out or the guillotine, and he got it cleared up that it was all about words. And so as you know, I contacted you and let you know about this this criminal charge. It's not federal, it's state.
Okay, so before we get any further into this video, let me just give you a brief summary of what's going on here. Now, this is King Abdul Bey. He was the fool that was trying to act as Light Tajiri Bey's lawyer in her case, where he was on the Zoom call and he was threatening the judge and making all type of crazy accusations, and pretty much trying to practice law without a license. So now, after that, I guess they are now charging him with threatening the judge. So now he's having this interview with this Sophia. She was also on one of the Zoom calls telling the judge, well, if you just stop talking and listen to him, you'll understand. She was that other voice. So now they're having this interview because these charges have now been filed against King Abdullah for threatening the judge. let's jump into a quick flashback.
Flashback.
201571, 1A 250975, 7Z 714492.
Jennifer Castleton for the city.
Karama Hawkins and Crawford, Your Honor.
Gianna L is AKA Miss Ritchie.
No, I don't think.
No,
I don't
Diana
think-
L isn't?
No.
Okay, is Miss Ritchie present?
Peace and grand rising to the Moors. I am Justice Pauline Denise Ritchie, in capitis nolo, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. My chosen free national appellation is Light Tajiri Bey.
Okay, so before we get into the rest of this video, let me just give you a little background on what you're about to watch. So this video is a court hearing for Pauline Denise Ritchie, aka Light Tajiri Bey. It's a Zoom court hearing. They didn't actually record the Zoom call, they just saved the audio. So we'll be listening to the audio of her court case, and her lawyer, well, he's not a lawyer, but the person she has representing her is none other than King Abdul Bey. She doesn't show up for the Zoom hearing. He shows up in her defense, and he just makes a complete fool of himself. So we have Pauline Denise Ritchie's court case with King Abdul Bey representing her. Let's get into it.
I represent Miss Ritchie.
Okay, but the person that we claim is, that the court claims is Miss Ritchie, is that person present?
I'm representing Miss Ritchie and the Republican form of government.
Okay.
And
But first thing you got to do, sir, is come on video, so I can see you on video, because that's the court rule.
I'm on. Oh, sorry.
On video.
I'm sorry.
You got audio on. We're good there.
How do I cut the video on?
I think are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on my computer.
Just go to the bottom. If you got a mouse or something, you go to the bottom left part of the screen. It says join video. Ms. Hawkins?
Yes, Your Honor. I was assigned to this case, to Ms. Ritchie's matters, when she was remanded into custody. I believe previously she was essentially representing herself and had declined assistance from the public defender. If there are additional charges that the city wishes to levy, I do believe that she does need to be present. I understand that there was a medical furlough, and so I think it's, if there are ongoing medical issues, that it would be appropriate to set this matter out so that those could resolve, and that we can have a better idea of what's going on with her and her ability to be here. I believe she is being represented by King Abdul, and so I'm not sure if she would be proceeding forward as her own counsel or if I'm to remain on. I do know that it's my understanding that Miss Ritchie is a universal, original, indigenous, sovereign person through the Moorish American Moroccan consular court, and because of that position, it is not consistent, or I would not have the ability to assist her without her wanting that help.
Okay. So, King Abdul, I'm going to let you speak, but speak on. I'm going to let you speak. But as I've already advised you, if you practice law, it's an issue, and I know that you and I might disagree on the interpretation of the law. That's fair. That everybody has the right to interpret things the way they'd like, I still have to enforce it the way it's written. So go ahead and tell me anything you wish to say.
Yes, you're talking about some law that you wrote that I have to abide by?
No, it's the law the legislature wrote, and there's also the Constitution, the state and federal Constitution. For instance, Miss Ritchie, just a moment. Miss Ritchie, under Article 1, Section 22 of our state constitution, she has a right to appear in person to defend. I cannot do things in absentia.
Sir, there's a problem. I heard you speak about the U.S. Constitution,
right,
as well as the state constitution. And Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution shows that you're bound to the supreme law of the land. Is that correct?
Well, the Constitution does say it's the supreme law of the land. The U.S. Constitution
I'm
is.
asking you a question. I'm not asking you to paraphrase. I'm asking you a question. It's a yes or no. Is the supreme law of the land you're bound by, correct?
Oh, to the extent it applies, yes.
Okay. And what is the supreme law of the land? Because you're telling me I need to practice law with bar members. That's not going to work for a Moor. I'm a Moor. I'm a noble.
Understood.
And, okay, so
I respect that, sir.
All right. Well, what I'm explaining to you, I'm asking you simple questions that will help me lead you to the process, which is for Empress Light Tajiri Bey, or as known as Pauline Denise Ritchie Moore.
Okay.
So now what I'm talking to you about is your oath, your authority to do anything on this land per the supreme law of the land. So I'm asking you again, you're bound to the supreme law of the land, correct?
Yeah, I am. Well, just a moment. Just a moment, sir. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
Sir.
Yes.
Okay. That's not true. Okay. The supreme law of the land is the Iroquois Moorish American Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1787 and 1836. This treaty is a document of the Revolutionary War, where the Moors defeated the 13 colonies and created the United States of America in 1787. Now, this law you're talking about, as far as me practicing law on my land, I think you better get a check at what's the supreme law of the land, sir.
Okay.
Now, Miss Hawkins, I believe you were being real quiet at this time when you shouldn't be, when you know you don't know law. As you discussed, I have you on audio where you said you don't know law. You know what the supreme law of the land. You didn't know what the supreme law of the land was. You called it the Constitution that. And you know statutes and codes aren't law, Your Honor. You're not a Your Honor to me, but you are somebody that's supposed to be bound to the treaty.
Okay, so let me see if I can narrow this down, because what you're suggesting, and I see what you're in the clause 2. It says the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which should be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States. So all the above shall be the supreme law of the land.
That's correct.
Okay, and so that's what I see what you're saying.
I'm not finished.
Understood, but I just want to make sure I'm comprehending.
Okay, so now you see where you're bound to this treaty, correct?
Yeah, it does say, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, and anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding.
And that part means that you can't use statutes and codes, case law, your court rule book, your Constitution, which is a bogus document, is not valid. Only the treaty is valid. And so when you look at the treaty, it talks about Article 21. The treaty is a document of the 13 colonies losing to the Moors. And that's what you're bound to. You're bound to uphold that treaty. You're bound to me, sir. My ancestors rule here. And so the people that you see, I see as for the representing for the city. Is she using statutes and codes instead of the treaty? Yes, she's using statutes and codes to human traffic. Okay? And you're assisting her, sir. Okay? So you're telling me that you got some kind of law that I have to abide by on practicing law with a bar member
who's British, a foreign agent, a traitor? Oh, really? Is that true?
Well,
now,
that's
yes,
just a moment, sir. Just a moment. This is my suggestion, because first of all, is this the document? One of the because there's 3 documents.
My document
is this one of your documents?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, that's the one,
Miss Hawkins. You have my documents.
You can bring up whatever you want at the next hearing.
I want to finish my part now, sir. You're cutting me off.
I am cutting you off, and I have every right to cut you off. And no, I do. I do.
You are bound to me. That's the problem.
I'm not bound to. I'm bound to the. You and I sir. You and I disagree, but I am cutting you off because no, you can't.
You're bound, sir. If you go past the bound, you lose your authority. You understand?
Then I've lost my authority, and if that's what you perceive. But my authority, what I'm doing today, sir, is I'm putting this on another calendar so you can be heard on another day, because Miss Ritchie is not present, and I can't proceed without her. At this point in time, we're continuing. We're going to resummon Miss Ritchie. I will let you know the court date, sir. Which court date do we want to have? 2 weeks?
Sir.
No, just a minute, Mr.
There's only one court on this land.
That's fine.
Okay, it's the Moroccan court.
Okay, then the Moroccan court can hold me in contempt.
Hold on. Provide me with your bond, your official bond, and your oath of office before you proceed, because you're saying you're not bound to the Moors.
Just so it's clear, sir, in the land of Federal Way, in our jurisdiction in Washington, just a moment. Just a minute. I have no authority to proceed against her unless she's present.
Well, I'm present. I'm proceeding against you for human trafficking, sir.
Okay.
My documents speak. I already served them on you. And don't cut me off when I'm speaking, because I'm in my court. I'm not in your court.
Okay.
So you are bound to me. And when I'm talking to you, you are outside of the law when you start talking down to me. Don't use statutes and codes. There's only one law in this land. When you bypassed my birthrights to the treaty, to my land, we own over 1 million miles square. Only indigenous people can live here. No European can live here. Look at Article 14. The treaty is about commerce only. If you're not doing commerce, you better roll up out of my land. That's what this case is about.
Okay.
You know it too, Miss Hawkins.
Okay.
Miss Hawkins.
We did.
You're an ineffective assistance of counsel person. And I know Strickland versus Washington and all that stuff. Don't mess with me. I'm a master at law.
Okay.
Not you. Okay?
So
don't assign only a noble can represent anything on this land. Sir, if you're not a noble, you cannot be a judge. The treaty shows that only Moors can live here. Indigenous people own 1 million miles square. And lawyers are banned from this land. So if you got a lawyer over there talking about, you got a code for me? Well, I got case law that says codes need consent.
Okay.
Okay. I give no consent to you or any of your lawyers using statutes and codes. I've seen you just human traffic people, make them plea on something with pressure, and it's dirty. You didn't give them full disclosure of the law. That's messed up.
Okay.
You're a terrible judge, too, if you're a judge.
Thank you.
Test that. You're going to provide me with your official bond and your oath of office, and we're going to test you, because I know you don't have the skills.
Okay, well, thank you for the compliment.
Bound to me. Don't cut me off. I want Pauline Ritchie, and you better not mess with her, because she's a noble. She's an empress. And
Okay.
you're talking about statutes and codes and bringing her to this phony court. You're bound to her.
Okay.
She's a Moor.
So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We're going to set it over for 2 weeks. Okay. And I think that's our last case today, correct?
Some of my paperwork, sir. My paperwork precedes me. And you better give me your oath of office and your bond, because I'm filing charges against you for saying you're not bound. You feel me?
It's a matter of public record, sir. If you want to go get that, that's fine.
All three of you, give me your insurance records, your insurance bonds. You think I don't know about that stuff? I've been investigating all you human traffickers for years. I got a judge saying he's at war with the Moors. He admits that he's a human trafficker. He admits that he's a KKK member. Right on the bench, and the lawyers too. They all admitted that they're at war with the Moors. Now, you at war with me, sir?
So this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to go off the record. We're going to end our Zoom hearing. Is there any objection, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Y'all
Okay.
don't have no business
No, I
being on my
think
land.
we're good to go, sir. Thank you.
Off of my land.
Thank you.
Yeah.
1 week later.
1A250-975-7Z 120-1571 7Z 714-492.
Emily Shepard Conings over the city.
Your Honor, Karama Hawkins and Crawford, it is my understanding that a notice of appearance has been filed in this case. This matter was continued.
Now, there's no evidence that Miss Ritchie is present in court, online or otherwise. Okay.
I'm representing Miss Ritchie.
Okay.
And this is why I went
fine.
to the other issues.
That's fine, but
No
have any objections
objection.
to withdraw.
However, you had a hearing with me before on a prior hearing. I believe it was on March 3rd, and I demanded that you provide me with your oath of office and your official bond, David Larson.
Okay.
Same thing with the attorney, Ms. Harris, that just left, or I see her now.
Okay.
And Jessica, the other attorney for the city, based upon the fact that you guys are human traffickers.
okay.
And
that's
don't cut me off, please. Don't cut me off.
Okay.
When I finish talking, you'll know. Don't cut me off. You did that last time.
Yeah, and I'll run, sir. I'll run my courtroom the way I think it needs to be run.
I'm the court,
Right?
sir.
I'll let you
You
speak.
said you weren't bound.
I'll let you speak,
sir.
but right now you're
Sir?
practicing law without a license.
I'm not practicing law. Let's test
Yes, you
it.
are.
Let's see who's practicing, sir.
Okay, go
Let's
ahead.
test it.
Go ahead and speak.
Okay, well, that's right. That's what. Don't cut me off again.
Okay.
I'm the court.
Okay. As long as
I'm
you
a
understand
Moor.
that you're committing an unlawful act by
As long
speaking on
as you can
behalf of
prove
Miss
it, sir.
Ritchie.
As long as you can prove it.
Okay. Well, it's right
If you
now.
can
It's being
prove it-
recorded.
Well, I'm recording too. If you
Okay.
can prove what you're talking about, let's test it.
Okay.
My court is a Moroccan court, sir. You are impostoring on my court. You're an interloper.
Okay.
Okay. Now I ask you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm a witness.
Okay.
My name is Empress Amina Sophia L. Bey,
And
I'm a witness to this.
And that's 346-339-6382 that's speaking. Okay, thank you, ma'am. And then Talia,
And I'm also wanting to please let him speak. And I don't mean any disrespect, but we have to hear him because we're conducting an investigation.
Okay.
And if you could please allow him to speak, I would very much appreciate it.
Okay. So just so it's clear, as an officer, as a sworn judge, I can't permit the unauthorized practice of law. Okay. And what's happening is the unauthorized practice of law.
Well, let's test it.
Okay, sir, I'll let you speak, but as long as you understand when you're doing this that potentially you're subjecting yourself to criminal liability.
Sir, let's test it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You saying I'm practicing law? Last time we spoke, didn't you say you weren't bound to the U.S. Constitution and the Treaty of Peace and the Iroquois Moorish American Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1787 after I broke it down to you? That is the supreme law of the land. And when you found out that you were bound to so-called black people, oh, you almost had a fit and said, I'm not bound.
Sir.
I said, what? Hand me your oath of office and your official bond.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to you, sir, I'm talking to you from the Republican form of government. I'm never going to speak to you from this Democratic form of government, which is an overthrower of my government. Okay. So when I speak to you, I'm talking to you from law. I'm not talking to you from something you wrote. Sir, we
Just a
haven't
minute.
finished
I'm asking Ms. Shepard-Consor.
You're not
is the
moving
city ready to
forward yet.
proceed?
You're not ready to proceed. I've served them the information to provide me with the mayor's bond, because you're interloping on my land and pretending to have law that's not law, and you're an interloper. You're a con man.
Okay.
So when I tell you about proving something, don't jump to the city, because the city hasn't even begun to get in the game yet. We're talking about Article 6, upon which they're bound to. So when you start talking about knowledge and what you're running, you don't rule nothing here, sir. Let's look at Article 6 before you jump into the city. I own the city. That's my land.
Sir, are you driving a car while you're on Zoom?
My land.
Are you driving your car while you're on Zoom, sir?
We're going to discuss land.
Can you read Article 6? Can you read Article 6?
I did last time, and I've asked that the issue be brought forward legally to the court this time.
Okay. Let me do what I need to do.
Sir, I don't make arguments. I make rulings. Okay. So if you want to bring forward the law to me, I'll be glad to listen to it.
Okay. Well, as soon as you can help me share my screen, I'll bring it up, because we're going to get this read. Because you said you weren't bound.
I never said that.
I have you saying that.
Sir, that is
well. Let's find out if you're bound.
That's
ludicrous.
Want you to
be bound. Read
Absolutely
Article 6,
ludicrous.
Sir. Read Article 6. You want to play games? This is not a game when you human traffic Empress Tajiri Light Bey or Light Tajiri Bey. You call it ludicrous when I see you human trafficking people and telling them here's some statutes and codes for you to take their freedom and money? Statutes and codes are not law, sir. Statutes and codes are not law, sir. Don't apply that here. You bypass the Constitution when you use statutes and codes. That's the only way you can win. Okay? So we have a treaty, sir. You know it's the supreme law of the land, right?
That's what I was asking the last hearing, sir. Is it disjunctive or conjunctive?
You didn't ask anything. You don't have to ask. It's already in words.
Okay.
Okay? Just follow the law, and you'll be fine. Don't go outside the law. You'll have problems with me. I have a guillotine for all of you criminals.
Okay, is that a threat, sir?
No, this is what the law is.
Is that a threat, sir?
On our land, this is the law of the treaty.
Are you threatening me with a guillotine?
No, I said, won't you listen to me? Don't keep reiterating something I haven't said.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what the penalties are. That's what I'm telling you for high treason.
Which you're accusing me of.
Well, when you finish, don't cut me off. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You're going to find out right here. You'll find
out
whether or not we're talking.
Get to the point.
When we finish finding out what you have to do, then you'll know whether or not I'm practicing law or not. This is what we're talking about.
Okay.
You accused me of a crime, sir.
Yes, I did.
Well, you better have something to back it up when I finish.
Okay. Well, you're intending to speak on behalf of Miss Ritchie today, aren't you?
Sir, when we finish, don't cut me off. Your ability to hold court, you can't do. This is what I'm going to show you right here.
Okay.
Now, our treaty is the supreme.
And if you would let him educate you, he's trying to educate you. But you keep cutting him off.
Right.
I implore you to just, take a minute and listen to him and stop feeling attacked. But he's really educating you.
I'm not feeling attacked. I'm just trying to understand what I'm supposed to be doing. What I understand, just a moment. What I understand is that I have no jurisdiction. Because of this treaty, I have no jurisdiction to decide anything in this case.
I haven't said you have jurisdiction, sir. You made that up. I haven't said that.
Then what is the point?
Pay attention. Pay attention. If you shut up, you learn.
I will when you get to the point. So get to the point.
I need you to read.
Just be quiet.
I need you to read. What he was telling you.
Right, and that's where we were talking about, and we've kind of got off on this tangent. Quiet. So what is Article 6, the rest of it?
You ain't nothing, man, but a liar. And that's why I'm here to crack your face open for lying.
Okay, is that another threat? Is that another threat?
I'm saying with words, sir. Why you want everything to be a threat? I'm over here on the computer, man.
Well, you're talking about breaking my face open.
Don't take it as a threat, man. I'm showing you don't have no ability to do what you're doing, and so I'm telling you, you're pretending to be a Moor. Only a Moor can run this rule here and be a judge here. You're not a Moor. That's what the treaty is saying. When you go through this here, you're going to see that you can't live here. Okay. Sir, I didn't ask you about determining anything. You haven't proved your worth yet. Are you bound to the Moors, sir?
No. So you're asking, you want me to voluntarily leave the United States?
Sir, I'm kicking all of you out the United States.
I don't
You're not
have
supposed to be
jurisdiction.
here. What you're doing is, hold on. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
You won't pay attention, and I'm going to have to force you to pay attention because you think you're not a citizen. Obviously, because you're sitting where a Moor can sit. Only a Moor can sit here. You're on my land. Get off of my land. This is serious. This ain't something where you can spin back to the statutes and codes, Judge David Larson. You're not a judge here at all. Okay. You better judge this. That's what we're talking about. It's us and them, the Moors and the citizens. You haven't even gone through the treaty, but you're so impatient. You think you're going to rule today on something? This case here has something to do with Joe Biden. I sent this case to Joe Biden, sir.
Okay.
When you look at my notice of appearance next after I finish this, because you're so, I don't know what to call you, but you're not a judge, okay? You can't do nothing here, sir. You have to go. And yeah, you're going to deport yourself. You see it right here. Deport everybody. That's what I'm demanding. But when you see my notice of appearance and my charges, you'll know I'm serious. Okay. And yes, I am talking about our law is the guillotine for high crimes like this. Okay. So, on our country. Now you think I'm threatening you? Where's your country?
Anything from the city?
Now the city is not a country, sir. You can't represent nothing here. Pay attention. Okay. You keep reverting back to you can do something. You on my land. You in my court. Pay attention. You bound to my court. Right here, this is a court order. Pay attention.
End of flashback.
Okay, so as you heard on the Zoom conference call, that second voice is this Moorish lady that's about to interview King Abdul Bey and the charges that the judge has filed on him for the numerous threats that you heard him making towards the judge.
Okay, as you know, I got a YouTube comment made by a King County public defender that sent me a comment telling me to contact him, and I contacted the King County public defender, and he told me that a criminal charge is filed against me for the conversation or the hearing we had about Empress Light.
We got a little delay.
Right. But this is this case is about Empress Light, me appearing in this phony court where they are claiming now that I threatened the judge, and I didn't threaten the judge. It was cleared up on the record when he asked me about the questioning of me saying I'm going to choke him out or the guillotine, and he got it cleared up that it was all about words, and so as you know, I contacted you and let you know about this this criminal charge. It's not federal, it's state, and so now we're here online, and we're going to need the assistance of all Moors to fight back with me.
Okay, well, good luck.
To take the White House back, which belongs to the Moors. And my job is to put our flag, the Moorish American flag, back up on top of the White House and restore our Republican form of government. And the Republican form of government, which is owned by the Moors, and it's called the United States of America, not the original government, not this democratic one that's overthrown us. So now they're involved in trying to rid me of some kind of fake, phony charge. And
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I just switched over to this setup because we were having technical difficulties. Okay.
Yeah, but it's
yes,
still. Oh, but it's. I don't know what's going on, but we'll just deal with it, okay? But we haven't ended the stream yet, and I want to welcome you back, and so that you can.
I don't know what's.
So that you can give the information regarding these criminal charges that have been placed against you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, King Abdul?
I can hear you.
Okay.
There was a lot of replay going on at that particular time. Did you hear all of the replay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So where I left off at is about them having this criminal charge against me filed in bogusly to enslave me the same way they do everybody else, like they did Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and anyone else. It's re-looping. It's playing over.
Okay. Well, let's just end it.
Okay.
I apologize. Let's try it again.
Alrighty. I'll call back in.
Back to my channel. All truths will be revealed. I'm Empress Sophia L. Bey, and today I have King Abdul Mumin. Mumin L. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. And today we are going to go over a case and charges that have been erroneously filed on King after we had a hearing on March the 30th with this fake judge, David Allen Larson. And I wanted to bring King Abdul on so that we can start where we left off the last time we were going live. So welcome to my channel, King Abdul.
Well, thank you very much, Empress Sophia.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
So what I want to do is talk about the hearing that we were involved in on Zoom because it was our courts. And I'm also a witness because I was there with you. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I remember you educating this judge, and he would listen. And you started educating him on the law, the supreme law of the land. Is that correct?
Correct.
I don't know if you guys could tell, but this lady that's conducting this interview, she was also on the Zoom call when King Abdullah threatened the judge. She was the other voice. But the way she's conducting this interview, in their minds, they think that this interview is also a court or a court action. They think that they're in their Moroccan court and all of this is pretty much on the record. Like, these people just live in the land of make-believe, but I digress.
Okay. And so while we were in this hearing, can you further expand on your thoughts about what this judge has done? And I want to talk about what has transpired since that hearing of these new fake charges that have been brought against you by Judge David Allen Larson. King?
Yes. 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 He's mad because I beat him up in open court. He had no defense or no legs to stand on while he was doing his human trafficking of many people, not only Empress Light, but many people. And he found that he was playing
right, or he found out that he knew he was lying, and he had to go on to his strategy of no matter what we say with the truth, they're going to win. As long as they have the Pharaoh's children's ink pen, we're going to lose. So we have to get our ink pens back. That's the reason why I was in that court in the first place, to go to the White House to remove Joe Biden and the rest of these con men that's in our places.
Dude, what the hell are you talking about?
Excuse me, sir, but what in the doohickey are you talking about? You were not on that Zoom call because you needed to go to the White House and remove Joe Biden and get the Pharaoh's ink pen back. You were on the Zoom call because you thought you were going to be able to represent your master teacher, Light Tajiri Bey, in her court case. And the judge let you speak. He told you numerous times that if you proceeded on talking, they would possibly charge you with practicing law without a license. Nevertheless, they didn't charge you with that, but they did charge you with threatening the judge, as you threatened him with a guillotine and something else. Like, this man right here, King Abdul Bey, he is so delusional. Like, you could just see what he is speaking about in his answer is incoherent with, like, he's all over the place. This man is clearly mental. He needs to be in a mental facility. He should not be on the street. This guy is off his rocker. Point blank, period.
Absolutely.
Yes. So he was really mad because he charged me as practicing law in the state of Washington, if you remember that part. And
yes, I do.
When he challenged me, I said, let's test it. And he wasn't ready for the test. He got beat up. And, the final results is that all the time they had to plan to make sure that we lose at all costs, even if the truth has to be destroyed by them. They don't care nothing about the truth. All those lawyers and judges, they're all Masons, criminals, the Illuminati. They ain't nobody cool at all. They wear the sheep's clothing, but they're really the wolves. And they just devour everybody. They human traffic the children, take your homes, send people to prison. Everything they can do to you. That's what they do. They're war criminals.
Yes, they are. And I've thought, during that hearing, you asked him, did you take an oath of office? You directly asked him that. And what did he tell you? What did he say?
Well, basically, I challenged him on his bond. And he knew he was, after we went over to Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution, which is a bogus document.
Excuse me, sir, but if the U.S. Constitution is a bogus document, why do you always want to refer to it? Why do you numerously ask people to read Article 6 from the U.S. Constitution? Why are you referring to a bogus document? So if you want to make your argument from a bogus document, then that means your argument in itself is bogus.
Used to enslave the Moors and the Europeans. He found out that Article 6, Paragraph 2, had him bound to the Moorish Empire, or the Moors, as well as the United States citizens and the Christian powers. And he found out that he couldn't live here and have a job here. And he was just not qualified, and he was just through. And all he was doing is just lying and cheating as usual. That's all they can do. Yes. They're no good. These people are no good. They're the worst things ever.
Yeah. And then I noticed, he wouldn't stop talking. And then I had to interject, sir, Please allow King to explain to you. And he would stop, and then he would let you finish explaining. Not explaining, you were educating this criminal. And so then he got offended when you said that they couldn't live here. And you also brought up the guillotine for treason, which is not threatening anyone. I never heard you threaten him. And you corrected it immediately on record for everyone to hear in that Zoom hearing. Did you not?
I did. I made sure that he knew I wasn't threatening him, and that it was the guillotine is there for the high treason of all the war criminals that's been human trafficking Moorish Americans and killing them for sport and others. And I let him know that he's a human trafficker. And he knows he's a human trafficker.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. And even though, and you even corrected yourself on the record, he still reverted back to his going to be the judge and traffic Empress Light Tajiri Light. And and he still ruled against her when he had no right to do so.
You really did come at me in a way that was so sideways, and beyond that, so catastrophically stupid.
None whatsoever. And he did it anyway, correct?
Correct.
All out in the open so everyone could see. Even though he was educated and you were telling him, hey, wait, and you were in control of that court, King. And I commend you for doing an excellent job dealing with that human trafficker. But even though he ruled not in favor of, because he's practicing law on the bench, which he shouldn't be doing anyway. So that's an oxymoron of him, and he didn't pay attention. So once he hurried up and ruled in this case, what happened next? Because it's some foulness of what those criminals inside that courthouse are doing to you right now, King. And they have come up with some fake, bogus charges, criminal charges against King in court. And can you let everyone know what these charges are that they just came up with out of thin air?
Well, they have one felony charge against me for, or in the name of Joseph Stanley Pigot instead of King Abdul Mumin. And the charge is about some kind of threat for saying I was going to choke him out or something. I don't know. And, as you made it clear, that I made it clear on the record that I told him it was only in words.
Yes.
And that's what I was talking about, the power of my words versus his lies.
Yes.
And so I got a phone call shortly after that conference or that hearing from after a Federal Way police officer called my home. I sent you the recording of the calls.
Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah, and he had called and asked to see if he could have permission to talk to me. And I said, well, it depended on what we was going to talk about before I could even give him permission. He just busted in on my phone, talking all fast, trying to act like he was on TV, and he was a big bad police officer. And I asked him one of the questions about, why are you calling me? And I said, did you talk about this case with the judge and the prosecutor? And he said, yeah. And basically they had conspired with no probable cause to call me and get information to marshal some kind of facts to conjure a criminal, a felony charge against me with no probable cause or no reasons or anything. So anyway, to make a long story short, he was asked by me at the end. I said, well, do you have any probable cause or a treaty violation to call me? He says no. So I told him shortly after that, I didn't feel comfortable talking to him about the conversation he was trying to have with me about the court hearing with this fake judge, David Allen Larson, the kangaroo court player.
But why would he call you during an active case? An active case.
Now, what this lady Sophia is clearly not understanding is that King Abdullah Bey is not a lawyer. So it doesn't matter why the officer called him during an active case, because the case isn't his case. He is not representing Light Tajiri Bey because he is not a licensed attorney. This lady is like, these more sovereign citizens got to be some of the stupidest people on the planet.
Isn't that odd, don't you think? That
oh yes, it's highly unreasonable. And I asked him, I said, well, didn't you see my notice of appearance? He says, yeah, I seen your paperwork. Well, then I told him, basically, you're wrong. I shouldn't have to explain to you that if I got a notice of appearance on the file, why isn't, basically, to me, I'm saying to him, I didn't say it, I'm just basically making him think, well, why isn't it that the prosecutor is not calling me?
Right.
Why are you calling me?
Right.
So his whole spiel was that, well, can I just call you because I want to call you? Hell no. We're not cool. You're the enemy.
Absolutely.
If I can get you, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock you up too and chop your head off. You know me. The guillotine is coming for all of these.
It is.
They got to get it. They need to leave our country right away.
See how foolish this man is? He's still threatening people on video. Like, sir, they're already charging you with threatening the judge, and now you're giving them more video evidence of you further threatening the judge and now everyone else that's involved in the court case. Like, you got to be the dumbest Moorish sovereign citizen on the planet.
They sure do. And they also need to, because we don't want them to come back. They can dig up their loved ones who they've buried in the ground and drag them with them, because they're not coming back here for no kind of ceremony. Oh, my loved ones. No, you dig them up and you take them with you. We want you off our land. We have not had any peace in this world since these people have been around. And it's time for them to go back. No more of this. No more human trafficking. And they need to give us our Pharaohs' children's pins.
Exactly.
And I was watching this G7 summit last week, and them all these Europeans signing these G7 trade agreements with our pen. We're coming to get all those Pharaoh's children's pen globally, because they do not and cannot represent nobles. And that's the fraud that they've run against the people.
What are you talking about?
And then, and then I watched this Juneteenth garbage, of making it a federal holiday. And I
Right.
watched them use this old lady, and she has Joe Biden gives her the pen of the Juneteenth law that he had signed. I wanted to throw up, really, because they're just blatant in our faces, and they think we don't know. That's the worst part of it. That is the gall of these beasts, and they need to go. But so, yeah, so where can, if people want to donate to help you fight these felony charges, criminal charges, can you give us your information on record here so that they can donate to you, and that these Moors can help with you fighting this case, and so we can go and get the pen at the White House? Because ultimately that is the goal. We want the keys and we want the pen, and we have to get there. Absolutely. So
yeah, we got to get the pen.
Absolutely. So if you can give your if you have PayPal, just put it out there if you could right now, and they can find you and find your YouTube channel, and I'm sure there's a link there on that. Or
Yes.
you can donate through me too. I have a donation button on my YouTube channel. And this isn't the last of our conversations that we're going to have, but these people have got to go, and I'm not allowing them to come and take any more of our Moors. And they're not going to get the opportunity to come and try to take you again. Oh no, that's never going to happen. And it's time all Moors stood up. And I hope they're listening to this live, because King, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. And I'm walking lock and step with you. And we are nothing to play with, because we're not playing these games anymore. It's over.
Oh, it's over.
Straight over.
Yeah, but I really appreciate you taking the time out to come on my video, and I'm sure we will have more. But the most important thing is, another thing I wanted to say, were you ever served with these new fake charges that they put on you? Did you ever get a notice or anything like that?
No notice. No, never been served any documents. But how I did get a notice was my YouTube channel. I looked on my notices, and I got a note or a message from the King County Public Defender's Office, from the Council of Association of Accused, or something like that.
Wow.
Left me a note and a phone number to call him to tell, because he said he had some information for me. And when I called him, I got through the process of being able to qualify to be able to speak to the man. His name is Mr. Kellyman, and he left me the information saying basically he was in court, and he only does the first appearances. He says he was in court and they called my name, and he reached out to me to let me know that they didn't have a warrant on me yet, and but they had heard the case while I wasn't there, and so he wanted me to be able to be protected or defended by his company, which is all the same people,
right?
Illuminati. There's no, it's like, anyway, that charge and the notice. That's how I got the notice, through my YouTube channel, and you can see my information there, PayPal, and a lot of videos of the court hearings as well of this kangaroo court. And yes, this whole process that they're trying to human traffic me with is the same kind of process they human traffic everybody else with. And they got Bill Cosby the same way. They get everybody the same way with this con game. If they don't like you, they just file this summons and complaint with their buddies, and then the lawyers or who are the Illuminati, and they work for the Pope and the Queen.
One way or another, we're crashing this party.
Russia and the rest of these people, they all work. They all cover it up and make it look like it's real. All the time. We're the masters and they're the servants.
Well,
so it's really bad what they're doing to the people playing this con game. Like their law is law, and it's nothing but the democratic con game to human traffic people, steal, mayhem all over the place, rape and pillage. That's all they do.
That's terrible. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you crystal clear.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to be following this new fake charges, because I put in and sent an email to the gentleman you were alluding to, and I never got a response.
No shit, Sherlock.
The public defender.
Yes,
his name is Albert All. You spell that AULL. And people that's listening to this conversation, you can reach out to I'm in Washington State, and you can reach out in Seattle to speak to Albert All and ask him about this case. This case is a class action case upon which I gave Albert All court order, which is from the treaty. The treaty is a court order. The Moorish American Treaty of Peace and Friendship is a court order that's self-executing. You don't need to go to court to get another judge or fake judge to rule upon this treaty. This treaty, or the Moorish American Treaty of Peace and Friendship, is a document of the Revolutionary War, where the Moors defeated the 13 colonies, and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and John Adams surrendered to the Moors. That's what the signing is about, and also is for the protection of the United States citizens and the Christian powers to travel throughout 7 seas, as long as they have the proper signals, ship signals and stuff like that, as they travel throughout 7 seas.
Excellent.
But but contact King County Superior Court in Kent, and you can pull up the name and get the case number and call the attorney of record. I've never gotten a notice of appearance from them either. And tell them you want to join her into the case, or join the case, because I'm demanding that this case, or the venue, be heard right there at the White House, because this lawyer asked me, he says, well, what if you can't? What if the judge doesn't like or want to go with the treaty, just like Judge David Larson? I said, well, look, this treaty can't be heard here because the venue is improper. This treaty was signed at the White House by Obama, and Obama knew that this treaty meant just what I'm saying about the Europeans can't live here and have a job here. And when he signed it, he had no real will to tell the Europeans, you got to go. And everybody's saying this president looking like them, but he's not our president. He's a Democratic con man, a killer like the rest of them. So wherever he looks like, he's in the same party with them. I'm a Republican. I'm from the Republican form of government, which our ancestors left here for us to control our dominions all over the world. So we're the Pharaoh's children. They have the Pharaoh's ink pen. So the Moors are all, go ahead.
And they have no business with it. That's the goal. That is the goal. And then they're imposters. They're imposters, and they're actors that have stolen generations after generations of souls and wealth and everything. And today, I hope they are listening, because we coming for you. We are coming for ya.
I'm out this bitch.
Yes,
We're going to
we
set up a
are.
date and a time to meet at the White House
Yes,
to
we
hold
are.
this hearing, because my case is a federal criminal, and it's a federal criminal investigation against the United States government for human trafficking Moorish Americans and killing them for sport, like I was human trafficked for 10 years. My case had been dismissed 3 days after I called 911 after shooting this guy in self-defense. I didn't kill him or anything. It was somebody I knew real close and personal. It's a hater. I'm giving him my love, and this guy's trying to kill me, and I don't even know it.
Wow.
Make a long story short, I had long dreads. He set me up, cut my dreads off. Oh man, this dude was a sick dude. And I put that lead on him. That lead changed his whole attitude. But I wound up doing 10 years.
Wow.
For nothing, for self-defense. But it's okay. That's when I was in there like a fly on the wall with the skills I have to see how to human traffic our people. And they never should have sent me in there, because I'm like a news reporter. I could see stuff and go and look at it and regurgitate it back on paper as though I was there firsthand, and you can taste it and feel it and sense it and see it in your brain when I finish writing. These people are all human traffickers, and it's by design from the White House on.
And
So
they'll never change. They're never going to change.
Exactly. Until we take our power back, take that pen back, and the power belongs to the women. That's who controls the pen.
Absolutely.
My job is to ensure that the women know that they own the world. They own over 1 million miles square. Our ancestors left this in the Iroquois Constitution of 1787. Our history was basically orally spoken by storytellers. And that's why we don't know much about who we are when they're calling ourselves Black and African American and Negro and nigger and all that stuff. We're the Pharaoh's children. Stop disrespecting ourselves. These people call us these names, and they called us these names so long to where we don't even know who we are. But I know who you are. You're the Pharaoh's children. Straightforward.
Thank you.
And I want to say one thing else for the Europeans that's listening to us about when we say we're gods and stuff like that. We are the gods. That's who you write about. And you can have, let me say one more thing about you Europeans. It's not a negative thing. It's what facts are. You can have a whole city of Europeans, male and female, having children, and can never have anybody with melanin in their body like this. But we, as the nobles, we can have babies and have all complexions, including the European. So no, you don't have the authority or power on our land. Our ancestors are pharaohs.
And you
have
need
all
absolutely, and they need to take their recessive gene tails on to where they came from, because I don't know where they come from. I don't, and I say that because of the evilness, the everything they're about is non-human. They must have been created in some type of science experiment, because they're thinking. They have no souls. They have no moral compass. And when you have people like that, they're very dangerous, and they don't need to be here with us. They got to go. But I think they got to, absolutely. And we're going to make sure of it. And we're going to be having plenty of more conversations of all truths will be revealed. And I really appreciate you coming on and picking up where we left off on the last video, where we were having audio and video problems. But now people will know about your current case and charges that they have against you. And I'm going to be keeping people up to date, King. And I appreciate you coming on here and educating the people. I appreciate you. And we will have this talk again, okay?
Okay.
All
Islam.
right. Islam. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, there you have it. Many of you guys were very upset at the way King Abdullah was talking to the judge, and you guys were wondering if any charges were filed against him. And yes, there were charges filed against King Abdullah Al for threatening the judge. Now, of course, this man is not taking these charges seriously because he's a fool, quite frankly. But nevertheless, these are real charges that have been filed against him, and he will have to answer them sooner or later. Of course, he's going to run. He's not going to go to his court dates. But eventually, he'll get picked up on a warrant, and he will face the charges at hand. He should have never stepped in and tried to play lawyer for his master teacher, Light Tajiri Bey, because now doing that has got him in a heap of trouble.